everything is absolutely perfect. And now hold your thoughts, hold your counter arguments and so on. So essentially, everything is absolutely perfect. First of all, what is the essence of everything? The essence of everything is consciousness, is the boundless awareness. That is indestructible, it is untouchable, it is ever present and existent. Now, when we come to materialization of the whole universe, what are the key building blocks of the whole universe? It is energy, vibration, and atoms and molecules. Yeah, atoms essentially. So atoms in themselves are absolutely perfect in design. Energy itself is absolutely perfect in design, in its structure. So atoms are perfect in their structure. Energy, vibration is perfect in the structure. So if we look from that perspective, that not only consciousness is perfect in itself, awareness, but also any manifestation is made of energy, vibrations, and atoms. And they're all perfect in themselves. In themselves. Now, where the, so to speak, imperfection happens is in their combinations, in the combination of energy, in the combination of atoms and molecules, from a relative perspective of that combination. Yeah, so essentially all of your being is absolutely perfect in the structure. Even any disease, any disability, any emotional pain, psychological pain, physical pain, all of that essentially is energy and atoms and molecules, and in the essence, they're all absolutely perfect in their structure. Now, the imperfection is in the blending of those molecules and energies. Yeah, you understand that a brick is perfect in itself, but how you build a building, that's a question of creation, we can say. So at the deepest level, the whole, not only the untouchable consciousness, but also the whole universe in its essence is a total perfection. And the imperfection is in the blending and joining and combining these atoms and molecules and energies and vibrations. So understanding that life is what we call life. Actually, there's no such a word as life. You know, it's energy. It's an energy manifested. But for the sake of relating on a human level, we can say life. So life has cycles. And they, you know, there is a challenging time, there is a beautiful, peaceful time, and later on there is a challenging time, and again, beautiful, peaceful time. These cycles are very obvious on a personal level, on a collective level, on the rising of civilizations, falling of the civilizations, planets being created, being destroyed. You know, so these cycles come and go, and therefore the cycle is of creation, of creation, sustenance, and perishing or dying. So finding real peace, finding real happiness, finding everlasting freedom, happiness is not in creation as such, is not in your view of creation. So you need to go deeper. You need to go to the essence. You need to go to the essence. And that is called the law of the universe. Yeah, so that is called the law of the universe. The law of the universe states that everything, first of all, is love and is made of love. That means that it is absolute perfection. Yeah, this is the first fundamental law of universe. It is one, love, perfection. Now, put all your arguments aside, put all the relativities aside, and look at the essence, the consciousness and the manifestation as we can say the quantum field or the quantum particles and the atomic particles are all absolute love, are all absolute perfection. There is no doubt about that. Every scientist will agree on that 100%. And that's what's the most fascinating. So this is the fundamental law and the fundamental structure of all. And where the issues arises and problems arises in the blending, in the combinations of atoms, molecules, and energies. So can you find the real lasting peace in that which is cyclical? No. Can you find the real freedom, liberation, happiness in that which is blended and it is subject to a constant change? No. So therefore, today's meeting is, we can say, illumination. We can say a revelation of truth, of the essential nature of what is truly perfect, truly love, and we may say peace, happiness, bliss, or freedom. And so we can look at this, I can explain it in a scientific way, which I already did. Yeah, I'm not explaining right now in the absolute term as consciousness itself, because that we have done already before. But now I will explain you not only scientific way, but also from a viewpoint of something that you can relate more with, which is a universal law. A universal law is not made by man, is not made by politicians or some kind of office. A universal law is a universal truth. It's how things actually are. And therefore, to truly sink into what I'm saying is to recognize that this law is the most fundamental law of all creation, of all lives on all possible planets and galaxies and life forms that ever existed, that ever exists, and that will ever exist in the future. Yeah, so law is fundamental. And this first fundamental law is that the atoms, the particles, the energy itself, not what kind of energy, but the energy itself, and the or quantum particles or atomic particles, whatever you want to call it, they are perfection in itself. They are the living essence of universe. They're the living essence of God, we may say. Yeah, if we use this word God, we may say it's the living essence and light of God. And so essentially, this first and most fundamental law is not that all is one as such, but all is perfect and love in itself. And you really need to start to disidentify with all sorts of arguments and beliefs and relative human behaviors, your life challenges and social injustices and all of that is really relative, because, and it's unstable, by the way. It's relative, it's unstable, it is constantly subject to change. So why waste your time, first of all? Why waste your time in arguing about what is relative, in trying to find peace in that which is constantly changing? Yeah, so you may continuously verify by your life experience, and if you have wisdom for that, or even better, read the history of humanity and the whole universe. Things constantly get birthed and then they disappear. It's also fundamental teaching of Buddhism. So you will never really find real happiness there. So why waste time on it? So put your whole focus on recognizing the fundamentals. In my life, I always looked at things with the eye of finding the essence. I always, we can say, on a human personal level, in the past, I always wished that someone could tell me what is the essence. Now, let's start from the essence. Let's not start from the clouds. Yeah, because looking around, it's a jungle, literally. If you just look around, if you look at humanity, at what's going on, it's a jungle. You will never really figure it all out by just listening to TV or politician or even reading a distorted book and so on. So I always wished in my life that someone could explain me, first of all, the roots, the essence. Yeah, if you want to know things, you need to know the seed. And from the seed, you will know what kind of tree is going to grow. So if you go to a gardening shop, you usually don't buy trees and ready-made tomatoes. In the gardening shop, you buy tomato seeds. Yeah, they say on the package, it's a tomato seed. And if you plant it, it's going to grow into a tomato tree, and then you're going to get the tomato fruits. So tomato is a fruit, by the way. So essentially, looking at the seeds, then you can figure the rest out. Then you can figure all of it out. So the essential seed is a recognition of the universal law that the energy itself, the atoms with electrons and so on, they're all absolutely perfect. They're the living essence of all life, all creation, all manifestation. not to mention the consciousness or awareness itself, which is untouchably perfect. But the creation itself, the essence of all creation, is also touchably perfect. It is the love itself, whatever you want to call it, really, the beauty, the love, the perfection, as the essence of all creation. Now, creation itself, what is the final product of creation, such as your emotions and thoughts and, maybe some diseases and illnesses. Now, that's where are the imperfections, so to speak, the perishable nature, the impermanent nature, and so on. So that's where, if you listen what I'm saying, that's not where the happiness is. That's not where the peace is. That will not last long. You can meditate on your balance and peace, but then tomorrow something else is going to happen and you will say, my goodness, where it all went. Yeah, so understanding the essence is understanding the seed. And then you will know all the possibilities. So now we have discussed the essence. And the essence itself is love, perfection, and beauty actually too. And the second question is acceptance. How deeply you accept this fundamental law. How truly you accept, understand, internalize, and finally experience this fundamental essence, this fundamental law. And that is where there is the jungle. Yeah, that's where is the jungle. Because you have all these thoughts, you have all these emotions, you constantly whine about this and that, and you constantly complain, and then you disappoint yourself, and then you judge and feel injustices and this and that. It's the jungle of confusion. Yeah, it's the jungle of confusion. So a jungle is a jungle. A noodle soup is a noodle soup. And for today's purpose, I will say that you have to clear that out. You have to clear it out, all the jungle, all this noodle soup. Of course, we advise on what's the easiest and quickest way to do that. But you really have to first know the essence, then to recognize the path, that there is a big jungle in front of you, or according to your degree of acceptance, you can see how much there is left. And this jungle is attachments and identity and all that you believe in, and all which is relative and unstable and doubtful and worryful and so on. So that's the whole jungle. Yeah, so for today's conversation, you need to work on it, basically. You need to work on it, clear it, heal it. But now you know something that you can absolutely rely on. Now you know something which is undeniably stable. Yeah, you know something which is essential of all life, everywhere in the whole universe, on any dimension, in any galaxy, on any planet, for any life form. We may say, the universal language, or the essence of the universal language. And that is stable, and that is so beautiful. It's just baffling, amazing, wonderful. So this is the, you may say, fundamental knowledge of the law of the whole universe, of the creation of everything. And this is exactly what you need to keep at the back of your mind, in your heart, and to align yourself to this law. Align yourself to this law and keep aligning and aligning and aligning and centering and centering and centering. This is your mountain. This is your mountain of truth. This is your mountain of peace, of real love, which is unconditional love, ever-present love everywhere in this present moment, in all creation. It's not just a feeling in the heart. It's right in front of you, everywhere. Yeah? So that's what needs to be done. So if somebody told me this, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have certainly be very, very happy, because somebody has showed me and told me the essence of all. Something that I can truly rely upon, that I can truly start centering myself upon in every action of my life, and something that I can look upon thoughts, emotions, actions, feelings, all sorts of manifestations right in front of me, and understand the essence of all of it. Yeah, and do my job to basically align myself to that, which is the fundamental truth, which is always stable, which is always present, of which everything is made. And to add as a big, big bonus, there behind it, there is an indestructible, untouchable consciousness itself. Yeah, so that's the absolute importance, and the absolute relative importance is this fundamental essence of all creation, of the whole, of every single bit, even a tiny bug, mosquito, or oxygen, air, vacuum, space, everything. Whatever you name it, it's all made of that. Yeah, so this is essentially how you can direct yourself, align yourself towards a real lasting peace, a real lasting happiness, a real lasting liberation from everything, from all the cyclical nature, impermanence. So I hope this covers today's topic of we can say, in the challenging times, to understand the nature of challenges, and to understand how and where we can find the real lasting peace. So now let's dedicate some time for practice. And after that, we can have some questions, answers. If you have a burning question in your mind, write it down. But let's discuss it after the practice, so that we keep the flowing harmony. So make yourself comfortable, and we will do a beautiful meditation of alignment with this stable love, with this stable perfection and beauty, and this most intelligent design. So make yourself comfortable, and let's take a few moments to slow down and to bring your attention to your breath. And let's give it some time to internalize and process what we have received and heard and learned right now. So a few moments just to give yourself some time to process it and integrate this truth, this law, the essence, the structure of all creation. If you have some thoughts, let them be for a while. If you need some time to process your understanding, give it some time. If you need to contemplate internally, meditatively, you can do that for a while. If you have maybe some oppositions or objections, I would recommend to watch very closely your emotion, your feeling. Because some feelings may arise of perhaps injustice or even anger and so on. Some opposing feeling let's just call it opposing feeling, may arise. And it's very important to observe this opposing feeling, because something fundamental is not aligned inside you with the truth of life. And it's good to work on it. It's good to heal it. You can also observe how close is this law, this truth to you, that essentially, in essence, all the atoms, electrons, photons, the energy itself, vibration itself, is perfect in its structure, in its light, in its love. There is a perfect amount of attraction to keep electrons close to each other, spinning around the core. This attraction is called love, or the breath of God. That keeps the fundamental structure in absolute perfection and balance. that everything else is created out of combination of atoms, molecules, and only there the imperfections are possible. In the combinations and blending in various amounts and quantities, in various forms and shapes of these combinations, that only there the imperfection or this balance or this harmony is possible. But essentially, the quantum field, the molecules, atoms, electrons are the living light, the living love, the living truth of God, creation, universe. The living light, the living love, the living truth of the source itself, of the source creation. And for a moment, if you just drop the jungle and any opposition and any relative argument and just feel your breath and just look upon what is in your awareness, everything is made of these atoms, electrons, quantum particles as the living light, the living love, the living truth, the alive light, the alive love, the alive truth. Everything is made of that. And I literally mean everything. Even the most imperfect thing is still made of the absolute perfect essence. So everywhere you look, everything you feel, experience is all made of absolute, living, perfect light, love, and truth. And this is something that is absolutely here. And you can simply observe the degree of your acceptance or any opposition, any resistance. But you can always now remember in the back of your mind, in the back of your heart, in your deepest, deepest self, that is the essence, that this living light, love, truth is the essence of all creation. In all forms, in all shapes, in all objects and spaces and dimensions. This is something that every sage has been saying for thousands of years. Maybe it wasn't understood deeply. The scientific background was missing. The scientific verification maybe was missing in the past. But now we are all intelligent enough to know that everything is made of atoms and electrons, quantum particles, as energy vibration, and all of them are made of living light, love, truth of the source, or God, or consciousness itself. And all of that is absolutely perfect. And the only imperfection is in combination, blending various amounts in various ways as an experiment of creation, as an ever evolving and growing cyclical creation. And to truly experience and live this love and light and truth is to hold it deeply at the back of your mind and heart and soul, and to continuously align yourself, to continuously verify this law to yourself, this truth to yourself, to continuously verify in every experience of yours, to align and verify, and to heal and harmonize all opposing, resisting energies or cycles, conditions. Every cell and every atom of your being is made of this alive, light, love, and truth as electrons and photons and particles, atoms. You are made of that. All of you, every single bit of you. And you only need to remove the opposing, resisting beliefs, identities, conditions. Because only that is creating suffering. The universe itself is the living love, light, truth. Is the living source. Is the living consciousness. As you, as the one who is aware of all experience, manifestation in whatever form it takes. So hold it deeply, hold it dearly, integrate this truth, knowledge into your deepest parts, into your deepest self. As the most stable understanding of all creation in your experience, in everywhere you see and look and know the whole universe as all. It is a continuous practice, a continuous alignment, centering, and reharmonizing yourself to this experience of ever-present light, love, truth, perfection, peace, happiness. It's really all in one, in this essence of creation. So whatever challenges might be present, you may contemplate the relative nature of all of it and rely upon the stable truth of all creation. As well as recognizing that everything is not only light, love, truth, but also as absolute bliss in awareness or openness, boundlessness. Every experience is in your own awareness. And you only need to work upon opposing and resisting misalignments. Opposing, resisting thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and misaligned energies. So for those who are ready, you can come back